What's up, guys? It's Will here, back again for another episode of Collectors Mingle. We got an amazing panel on the docket for you guys tonight, and also a lot of amazing topics. We're going to talk about J&D, Inart, Hot Toys, the Avengers Endgame line. Will they be eventual Grails? Star Wars figures, OG trilogy, Attack of the Clones that, I don't know, people seem to have forgot a little bit about because that happened all the way back in May on the 4th. And Hot Toys was like, hey, there's more coming, but we haven't seen more yet. So there's a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about, just the market in general, all these competitors in the market, and of course, these famous lines that we all love. Be on the lookout. Lots more coming right at you. My voice gave out right at the end there. I think it's puberty. You're finally hitting me. I'm finally becoming a man, so I'm very excited.
I like it.
Guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. There's really not that much news. So we had to come up with some alternative topics because I was going through the news and I was like, well, we could talk about Cable again, but we've done that on every show. And we could talk about the Iron Man Mark 7 suit up thing, but talked about that a lot. No one seems to really care. So we got to talk about, some other cool stuff. So it'll be fun. But guys, before we jump into the topics and address the chat, let's address the panel. Mr. Reviews with Rich, all the way from England. How you doing, bro? Isn't it like 2 a.m. where you're at right now?
It's 1:07.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, thank you so much for joining, man. Seriously, that's some serious dedication. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me. It's bank holiday here tomorrow, so it's a public holiday. So I thought, why the hell not? Let's jump on this.
Nice.
And, let's have 2 hours sleep and get on it. So
wait, what holiday is it over there? What holiday?
It's like holiday. It's like a public holiday. It's like it's basically the end of the summer. Public holiday,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a holiday?
Yeah, I know, right?
We probably have some weird holidays too. Like,
see you later, son. It's gone.
Yeah.
We have weird holidays?
We probably do, don't we?
Don't you dare say that.
So much patriotism. Anyway, Rich, you doing okay, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, man. I'm also had a great time over the weekend with my family.
Nice.
I was telling the guys on Collectors Lounge early today. I've got a 3.5-year-old daughter, and she's we took her to the Woolerton Hall, which is the Dark Knight Rises, where
that's cool.
where the mansion is, the Wayne Manor is, and it's like quarter of an hour away from us, and so we went there. My daughter just had a great time at the fairground and stuff like that, so that was awesome. Got some really nice photos and stuff, so it was great.
Nice.
So it was really lovely. Yeah. And then I was on Collectors Lounge earlier today with Liel and the boys, so that was also awesome as well. Had a really good chat today. It was really great. I loved it.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining, dude. Happy to have you first time on the channel, and
thank you.
It'll be a blast,
Appreciate
man.
it.
We'll talk about some cool stuff.
Man.
So Carlos, man, what's that? Is that an Amazon package behind you, or is that a Hot Toys figure?
It is an Amazon package.
Is it more diecast pans?
No, it's I think like tools. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, just stupid shit I buy.
Yeah. Well, Carlos, I'm happy to report. I didn't tell the people yet. Carlos is in our fantasy football league, and I'm assuming he's going to be last place. But I'm not sure.
Well, first thing, thank you for having me again. It's really cool to meet Ben and Rich, and Rich, I know it's really early for you. I know Will and we were talking about having the longest stream today, 2-3 hours. So get ready for that one.
Longest
stretch it out.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and excited to talk a lot, about whatever we're gonna talk about. Because go team.
Well, well, thanks for joining, dude, as always. So it's gonna be fun. And Lael, 1/6 scale, man. How you
What's
doing,
up, bro?
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long day, but we're here. I mean, it's great, man. Did Rich ever tell you how tall are you, Will?
I'm 6'4", yeah.
Did Rich ever tell you how tall he is, bro?
Is Rich gonna tower over me, dude?
Rich is like what?
I'm bang on 6'4" as well.
Oh, okay. So we're good.
Yeah.
So we're good.
I didn't know that. Carlos, how tall are you, man?
6'3".
You 6'3". Ben, how tall are you?
6'3".
What the? This is the tallest panel I've ever assembled.
Crazy. Man.
How tall are you, Lael? Aren't you like
5'8"? I'm
5'8".
bro.
Okay, I was thinking like 5'10".
Yeah. I'm the shorty of the bunch, man. So everybody else is tall. I live in the land of like short mofos, so that's what it is, man.
Everyone thinks I'm short though. A bunch of people, when I've said I'm 6'3", they're like, "You look 5'7". I was like,
dude,
how?
Someone said that to me recently. Like I talked to someone and they were like, "Yeah, I thought you would be short," and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Do I look short?" I guess I do. I don't know.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But Leo, that's crazy, man. I didn't know that everyone was so tall. Like I said, there's got to be some kind of record for tallest panel ever
Yeah,
assembled. So
everybody
Tallest panel.
is like super tall, but nah, man, everything's been good. Pretty much, I'm just kind of barreling through everything. I was sorting comics earlier today. Um, I would have guessed Leo would have. Nah,
See?
bro. Nah, not
Yeah,
at all, man. I'm the shortest person,
Most
bro.
most
I'm,
jacked though, probably.
you know what?
yeah.
I'm tall in stature, bro. I'm tall in personality. That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
My
That's all that matters,
personality is
man. That's all
tall.
that matters.
But other
Dude.
than that, I'm not. But yeah, man. Glad to be here, bro. Like I said, I was sorting through comics today, getting that
Mm.
taken care of, and then sorting everything else out of the way, and getting everything ready for this what's going to be the raffle for this figure that I'm getting. Actually, that my man, what was his name, Funky Cold Santa,
Yeah.
donated the Iron Scavenger, so I'm just kind of getting that ready. And yeah, man, it's been long. It's trying to push forward and get everything organized for the week. The kids go back to school this week, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So finally, you know what I mean? Like
I
that.
know, I know.
Well, like honestly though, somebody told me, because I didn't even really notice this, because again, like we're wondering why, like it seemed like they just got out of school like a couple weeks ago, you know what I mean? And everything's so fast. I didn't know that the Earth rotation is faster than normal, than usual. You know what I mean? So the
Oh,
Earth is
really?
rotating at a faster rate. So that's why it seems like everything is going so super fast, man. But yeah, it's crazy. Like how these months, like it literally, we're already almost in September. August
Yeah.
is almost over. It's like, man, this is crazy. It's nuts, man. Christmas is gonna be here next week.
I know,
Oh
bro.
my
Like, what's gonna
God.
happen next? Like, we got Halloween and then Christmas, and
Yeah, man.
and of
That's
course
crazy,
Thanksgiving
bro.
and Black Friday. So,
Yeah, right,
oh, yeah.
right.
All those Labor Day sales coming up soon too. So
Yeah,
should
yes,
be exciting,
indeed, bro.
dude.
So
But
I'm
thanks for
excited, man.
joining as always, Layout.
Definitely, bro.
Mr. Ben Thomas of the Ben Thomas Show. How you doing, man? First time on the show. What time is it in Canada right now?
It's still pretty early. It's only 6 o'clock here, just after 6. So
Oh,
not too
nice.
bad.
Let's see,
Still
I'm
have some
not
daylight.
good with time zones, dude. I don't know
Yeah.
any of this stuff.
Honestly, I had to go to the stream on, like, I'm glad you posted this, like, the thumbnail earlier, so I could see kind of where I needed to
You
aim
see
for,
where the
but-
time shakes out. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here. All-star panel to join for a Sunday, which is awesome. And I always catch, I should say, Collector's Mingle on Monday whenever I'm kind of driving between work. So
Yeah.
now I've got
nice.
nothing to watch tomorrow unless I rewatch it. But it's still gonna be cool. But
I know there'll be one less view on the video, so I'll know it was you.
one
man.
less view. One less view.
I'll definitely know
But
it
no,
was you, man.
But
But
also,
thanks for joining, Ben.
excited
Happy to
be here,
have you, man.
Thanks.
And your setup, all you guys set up, even Carlos, all your setups is looking beautiful behind you.
Mine
so.
too?
Yeah, even yours, cause that
No,
Amazon
no,
box.
not
dude.
yours.
Yeah, but Carlos dropped a super chat, so thank you so much, Carlos. Carlos, Leo is tall where it counts. Absolutely, tall in personality.
No, that's not what I meant.
Well, that's how I'm gonna interpret it. So this is a PG show here.
PG
so,
show, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Disney Channel. So,
That's funny.
all right, so let's address the chat real quick. Dockinator, my dudes, what's up,
Booty King,
Dockinator? Mr.
Booty King.
Shredder. Yeah, for Mr. Shredder himself. Have you seen him play guitar layout? He's really good, man.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he posted
bro,
videos before.
I
He's
think
a beast.
Dockinator is pretty much he's the master of all trades, the jack of all trades, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's a cool guy, man. He can predict the actual symmetry of a booty from front of him, bro. Like he's that good, bro.
The
He's just
geometry
that
of a booty.
Yeah, like he can tell you like just by looking at the booty what type of person that person is, man. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's a special skill. It's a superpower, really.
It's a
So.
superpower. Dockinator got a superpower, bro.
Renz Tantino, the artist himself. Good evening. Happy Sunday to all. Renz, thanks so much, bro. Dude, Renz, I've hung a bunch of pictures in my collection room now. The only ones I have
Yeah.
left are yours because the frames I got are very difficult
Yes,
to hang.
yes.
So I'm working on it.
Yes, my
Um,
guy.
But I got them right over here, actually. So, but Renz, yeah, awesome work as always, man. Lewis the Bits, what's up, crew? What's up, Lewis? Xander, evening. Ben himself. Hey, everyone. Hey, Ben. Let's see, the collector number 1. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone's doing great on your side, too. The collector, Bruce
Yes,
Leon,
yes,
Let's
yes.
Rock and Roll Boys, S Beam, Sean Bean himself. Hello, all.
Let's go.
Funky Cold Santa, there he is, Leo. Funky Cold Santa. How
My
you doing,
man, my man, my man.
Kiwi Collects. What's up, Will? What's up, Kiwi Collector? Alvin J, channel member Alvin. Thanks so much, Alvin. What up? Sean Yutzi. Sean, how you doing, man? Yo. Let's see. Bruce Leon. Bruce, the man with the awesome profile pic. The boys are back in town.
Yes,
The
yes,
boys
yes.
are indeed back. AJ said, hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. AJ's 6'2". He posted earlier. I saw that. So
It's,
Tall panel, tall
everybody's
chat.
just super tall, man. I just got the short end of the stick when it comes to like family genes and everything. My grandfather was 6'8". You know what I mean?
Damn.
Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
he's
Yeah.
6'8", bro. He's a tall dude, and he was in actually
Mm.
he was in a band. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
he was in a
shit.
doo-wop band back in the day. That's on my mom's side. My dad, my grandfather on my father's side was like six. I think he was like 6'4". You know what I mean? And but
Mm.
everybody else is just all of us. Yeah, nah, it ain't happening.
Yeah, that's pretty tall, dude. 6'8". Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
so you weigh what, 150?
Who, me?
Yeah, you would weigh like 150 then.
I'm like, well, not because the thing is, it's like ever since I've been with my trainer, I actually put on like a lot of weight, like muscle
Mm.
weight more so than anything. Because I used to be like 155, 160. Now I'm actually up to like about 166, almost pushing 170, and just
Mhm.
so yeah.
See, I'm like 6'4" and I weigh like 195. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's-
Oh, wow.
I'm
Yeah.
263.
yeah, but you're lowering it, dude. You're getting lower by
I am.
day. So.
I'm trying to get
Yeah,
up.
it's all those
20.
Amazon packages you lifted. So, you know.
Yeah.
But you're doing great, Carlos. Mike Fella, hey everyone, with all those exclamation points. As always, Mike, how you doing, bro? Insane One, hello all. Pedro Lopez, hello there, Pedro. Linda, Mrs. Pennywise, hello everyone. Hey Linda. Oh, Tully, what's up? Will and Penn, what's up, Tully? Javier, Feezy's Figures, what a do crew. Let's get ready to mingle with fantastic Mr. Fox and his friends. I always enjoy reading that. Let's see, Doc Smizzle. Don't forget your Peter Tingle when hanging out with Collectors Mingle. Dude, I feel like that should almost be the slogan of this show, but love that a lot.
Yeah,
Doc
yeah,
Smizzle,
yeah.
the moderator himself. Hey guys, another star-studded panel. Thanks so much, Adam Antium Wolverpool. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. We got Tully, Lewis, I talked about. Riley Reviews. Thanks so much, Riley. What's up, guys? Look at this fantastic
Hey.
panel. And Carlos.
Hey, yo, Riley, man, tell me
The
what
love.
you. So here's the thing. So everybody who basically are so far from what I'm hearing, everybody who actually received those clone troopers late, apparently Sideshow included a gift. Riley, did you
Huh.
get anything? Because I think El Profesoro, Mario himself got a gift from him. You know, I don't know if Riley, I think he said he got like a couple of coupons, or I guess like, points, whatever. So I'm waiting. If they don't give me shit, I'm hollering at them this week.
That's pretty
So,
cool, though. I'm glad they did that.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I
What
hope
was
so,
the gift?
bro.
Yeah.
What was
Huh?
what was the
Well,
gift?
I think Mario actually received I think he got like a book, like that they sent him out like a book as a gift. But
Okay.
knowing that they know my name, they probably won't give me shit.
Well, I was thinking they would give you like maybe double rewards or something, or
Yeah.
or a coupon, $20 coupon or something, but
Yeah. I don't
Something,
know,
but-
but
So
we'll see.
yeah, let's see. Sayful, what's up? Hello. Comics swag, indeed swag. Four stroke the like early, Tully. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hey, folks, CT603. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister there. Hey, folks, what's up? Wayne B, what's up, everyone? Ren said, Ivan hanged my Kratos print too, just framed leaning on the wall beside my Axis display. Yeah, dude, I got to frame mine. Figure shot. Hey, Gina B collecting, my favorite live stream. Thanks so much, Gina. I swear to God, Gina, let me message you tonight when I'm done with the stream, because I want to get you on for next week. I've been saying that for like 6 weeks, but this time I really mean it. I promise. Unboxed my DX19 this morning, and wow, amazing figure, man. Tully, it is an amazing figure.
great.
Although I did just sold mine, but I still like it.
I still didn't pull it
You
out the
sold
box
it.
yet. I just pulled out the Snow Speeder
So-
Loop today.
So see, Lale, that's a great figure too. But Ben, I did sell it. Carlos
Crazy.
twisted my mind a bit because he was like, bro, Inart could come out with one. You might like that more. If you end up not, then you could go back and buy the DX19 for what you
fair.
sold it for, basically. So that's kind of what I did. So, because I'm getting Inart Joker 2-pack. So I was like, why not? Let's just see what happens. So, but anyway, Tully, let's see. MB Dyson, I'll take some points. I once got a sideshow behind the scenes book years ago. That's pretty cool. I like that. Brandon Salad, thanks so much, Brandon. Channel member Brandon. I always love Brandon's photo, by the way. I love the lighting in that.
What the
Ready for some
hell?
hot tea tonight.
tea tonight? Brandon, what's up, bro?
Brandon's, hey, he's a smart man. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic. I really want to hit the ground running with Star Wars to start, just because I feel like this is something, like I said, that we need to revisit, right? Because let me go ahead and get rid of this banner here. Attack of the Clones, right? This photo is old, right? It says 4 hours ago, but it was not. It was posted on like May 4th, May 5th, right?
Did somebody
This
repost this, or did they post it?
Hot Toys did. Yep, they did. They posted this saying like on May 5th, the day after the May 4th, when they announced all those Attack of the Clones figures. They were like, hey, don't worry. We have another wave of this, right? And I'm wondering, like, it's been like, what, 3 months, almost 4 months now. Where is that second wave, right? And I wanted to ask you guys, like, sort of what's next and when? I know we're all expecting Mace, but when are we planning to see that? And I want to start with Rich on this one. Rich, do you have it? I mean, it's all speculation, but what would be your best guess as to like when we're going to see more Attack of the Clones figures? And what do you think? Are we expecting Mace, Padme, anything else?
Well, I saw there isn't there a new shop being open next week, or there's some kind of event that's happening next week? I saw that it's been teased, and I think it's like the 3rd of September. So I don't know if anyone can collaborate that, but yeah. So hopefully soon we get an announcement of something. And Padme, Mace, I think maybe a reissue Dooku would be great. I think those are the ones that people are shouting out for, really, aren't they? And obviously, the fact that we saw Anakin in that get-up in the Obi-Wan show with the hair and the Padawan braid in the flashback, I think there's going to be a demand for that and the mullet Obi-Wan. So I think if they release those as well, then that could kind of be a dual purpose, because obviously he looks like way in episode 2. So I think it's a good chance that we're going to get those guys as well.
Okay. And I'm wondering, Rich, too, like, could it be an opportunity to reissue, like a soft reissue of Dooku too? I mean, if they wanted to.
Yeah. I think because obviously he's so expensive now.
Right.
I mean, he's like £600, and I think it's just they have to do, really. And I think if they do maybe like a double pack with maybe Dooku and Yoda would be awesome together. Right. I think that would be good to recreate those. And yeah, there's just the possibilities are endless on this one. And I think if they do that, I think it'll please a lot of people, because the release that they did, the first part, wasn't very exciting.
Well, the C-3PO was just not the one that most people wanted. But
no, definitely not. No.
But yeah, definitely great thoughts, Rich, on that one. Carlos, what are you thinking, bro? Like, are you expecting to see anything anytime soon? What do you think is going to come from this line?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know, like, obviously when this is going to be announced. Right. But I think Big Bretta said the way Hot Toys would probably do it would be the 20th anniversary would be the entire year, not just in May, right? So obviously I think we're going to get another batch. I don't know the trooper name. I don't know if Liao or anyone else would know.
Which one?
In Commander Cody's photos, there was another trooper next to him that was teased. I don't know his name, but I'm assuming that trooper would be released. And the reason why, it's because I've seen Hot Toys start doing a lot more of these characters that are, figures like the Mark 7 suit up. Where is it? Let me see if we can keep going.
Is it
that one? There you go. The one in the back.
But isn't that's just
7 reissued?
No, not yet. But that was basically teased. It's a trooper that was actually teased. We haven't actually gotten it yet.
The one that has a couple helmet swap outs, right, Leo?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I think so, but it was teased. But yeah, I don't know yet.
So maybe they're, maybe there's one of the one that ends up coming out, just because I've seen them do more of these figures from individual scenes or the things that are teasing. Maybe a Maze, maybe a Padme. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't really care for a Padme, but I know the community really does. So I think that'd be really cool for them. I'll be cool to have a Maze Windu though. So I'll probably would get that one, honestly. Probably pass on Padme. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but Maze would be cool. Then definitely an opportunity to get an Anakin. I think that would be pretty cool as well. So probably that batch, right? Because that's what we're seeing more now. And they never announced the Mega Droid, the Super Mega Droid, right? Like the really big one. They never announced that.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Yeah, they just announced the little battle droid.
Okay, so maybe that guy will probably be the one.
Droid,
yeah, Super Battle Droid would make sense. Yeah.
There you go. That one will probably get announced. Yeah, that's what I would say. Maybe because last time there was like 4, so any mix of those will probably end up happening sometime around, obviously in the next few months. But That's what I would think, especially Mace, because it was teased. Maybe that trooper, because they already have a trooper body. Yeah, I don't know if they would reissue a Dooku. I've seen and Rich, maybe Rich is right, but I would think that Hot Toys has been getting away from reissues and doing a lot of 2.0s.
Right.
I don't know how you improve it, because what they did with the Mark 46 was not reissue the head sculpt to preserve the value. Maybe they don't go that route. I don't know. That would be interesting to see for sure. But hey, if we get it, then really happy for the community, because they can get that awesome head sculpt, probably top 5 of all time Star Wars head sculpts.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, because that Dooku, man, is like, I don't know how you make it better. It's like,
Yeah, that's my point. How do
it's
you make
really
it better?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But Ben, what do you think, man? Like, are you expecting to see anything maybe this year or next year? Like, and what are you expecting to see?
I agree. I think it would be more of like the year of releases of the 40th. I think it's interesting because with Dooku, even though I agree with you guys that the likeness on that sculpt was insanely good, I know that Hot Toys likes their money. And I don't think that they want resellers making that money. I think that they'd rather have a piece of that pie themselves. So I think that they could still honestly give a kind of a soft 2.0 and add maybe a couple different accessories, maybe a different expression. But I think that they would want a piece of that Dooku pie. For me, as long as it's not another Iron Man, for a while anyways, I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm going to be pretty happy with it. But, you think of Attack of the Clones, there's a lot of Jedi in that movie that they could, they could pull from, especially ones that have more of an alien likeness. Maybe they don't have to pay likeness rights, so maybe we could get a couple more Jedi for the background, which would be really cool. With the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster becoming Thor and having her likeness made by Hot Toys. Like, I'm sure there's difference in costs from Star Wars to Marvel, obviously, but maybe we'll see that Padme now she's finally said yes to her likeness for the Thor figure. Hard to say. And I think it's crazy that we haven't seen another Samuel L. Jackson or Mace, or just in general, not another Mace, but a Mace in general,
Right.
because we've seen his head sculpt before, right? Like, we've had his likeness with other figures. So crossed fingers, definitely. I think it would be cool to get a couple more Jedi in the collection, though, something that you could complement some of your mainstays with. And I do agree. I think that now that we've kind of seen that scene in Obi-Wan where we get to see kind of the Padawan Anakin, and like you said, I think you called it mullet Obi-Wan. 100%. Like,
Mullet
there's
Obi-Wan.
definitely going to be some demand for those in the collection for sure. So, and because they'd look really good with some of the other lines that we already have. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. I'd say for me, Attack of the Clones is one of my least favorite films. So
Me too.
I don't know how many
Yeah.
personally I would buy, but I'd be excited for those folks who are really anticipating it for sure.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite Star Wars film, but if they make a Mace, I'm gonna get it. So,
Better
it's,
than the sequels, though.
what'd you say, Carlos?
Still better than the
No,
sequels.
it's not. Get out of here. No, it's not. Definitely not.
Yes. it is.
But Lael, dude, what do you think, man? What are you expecting to see? Mace, Kit Fisto, Padme? What do you think?
First off, this is probably the first time that I'll agree with Carlos when he said that it was better than the sequels.
No.
Nah, honestly, I'm just being quite honest. Like,
No, I
the
know you are. I know you
prequels,
are.
in my opinion, were basically better because they were more cohesive
I
Yeah.
as
agree.
far
I
as
get that.
storytelling. No matter how bad the dialogue might have been, or certain things, or certain elements of the CGI at that time, it was good when it dropped at that time as far as CGI. But as far as cohesiveness, the story was better told. We knew where we were going with it, and it was to be expected. Anyway, with that basically being said, I think we're going to get a Snowspeeder Carlos with a sign that says "Fuck Star Wars."
Peter Carlos.
But I'm just joking. But now, literally, again, there's missed opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of missed opportunities. If they don't give us Padme, that's a missed opportunity. If they don't give us Mace, even though they showed Mace with one of the battle droids, that's definitely a missed opportunity. What they've done, and they've unloaded a whole bunch, even with the chrome troopers. Those were basically, prequel figures. You know what I mean? So they've unloaded those. And that was basically from Attack of the Clones. So if you don't, literally, if you miss the opportunity to give us Padme, Mace, if they don't give us that Kit Fisto, come on, man. Like, literally, you had it right there. Like, it was there. Like, when we saw it, that makes the most sense. to give us that. Of course, the Battle Droid, Super Battle Droid, we already have those. That the Battle Droid's already released. I don't know if they actually released the Super Battle Droid yet. I think they did. I'm not really sure. It's too much going on right now. So many things that were released. But just as long as this time that they don't give us more clones right now, like we're cloned out. Like there's way too many clones that they continue to give us. Now, here's the thing. People, it's not to say that I don't like the clones. I'm not saying that I don't, because I'll get a clone in a minute. But it's just a simple fact that, we need to see more from it. If you're going to give us the both Anakin and Obi-Wan from Attack of the Clones, I'll take the mullet version. You know what I mean? I'll take the earlier version, the Padawan version. Give us, as a matter of fact, you know what I mean? Give us, even whatever, as far as a Dooku, I can't say that they would actually do that again. I don't know. That's just, I don't know. I'm not really saying that they will. It'd be too soon for them to do it. But again, you never know, because Hot Toys likes to do what they do. You know what I mean? So again, we just have to kind of wait and see it. But I would even like variances of Padme. You know what I mean? I would like to see her in different costumes. You can definitely do that. You can all the way, you can go back and give us this Starfighter, man. Give us anything. I don't even care. Like, I really, at this particular point, I really don't care. They have to. Carlos, you already know how I feel about that new Boo Starfighter that we still didn't get one. We didn't get that M1 yet. Like, that's
I think
another
it's coming.
thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'll believe it when we actually see it. So it's just like a waiting period to see how that actually plays out. Again, you had so many. Look, I would even take a Kiadi Monday. You know what I mean? I would take a Luminar. You know what I mean? I would actually take, just basically give us the figures, give us certain things that we won't really expect. Even though I know they're going off, it's like more so a popularity contest with them. If you give it to us, people will basically buy it. You know what I mean? People will get it. You know what I mean? But I just think that if they don't, it'd definitely be a wasted opportunity. As far as what we could get. I understand Carlos got his hand up, but I think it is
in class right
it's
now.
definitely a wasted opportunity for us not to get certain figures that you've already teased. You've teased these figures, we still haven't actually gotten them yet. Come on, like, do what's going to really, really make sense. You know what I mean? And I think that's what would make sense, especially if you're telling people that we are going to get more from Attack of the Clones. And you really are pushing that. You know what I mean? So, do what makes sense. That's the only thing I can actually say.
Yeah, and Mace Windu, man.
Yeah, give us, and that Mace was, and that's what I'm saying. You've teased Mace, bro. You've teased that. You know what I mean? Right here, like we see that, and I should know that. Number one is crazy, because knowing now that when we got that Vader from Obi-Wan, we were teased with the Grand Inquisitor. We got that. We got the Grand Inquisitor, and we were teased with Reva. So with Reva, we got that coming. You know what I mean? That'll be coming soon. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it just, we only see the back of his head. It's the same thing that we actually saw with the Bespin Han, and we haven't gotten that yet. You know what I mean? So again, you have people. It's like the money is there because people are demanding these figures. People are telling you that they want it. So are you going to pass up dough? Come on, Howard. Be smart, bro. You love Star Wars too. He said he loves Star Wars. Yeah. So just come on and give it to us, man. Let's go.
That's true. Carlos, what do you want to say before we wrap on this topic?
I was going to say that, Layout, if they don't release the Jedi Starfighter, your favorite company, Jazz Inc., they're making one. So
how much silly putty do you need for that?
Yeah, a lot of putty.
Did they say that they're actually making one?
Yeah, they're trying to.
I'm sure it'll be good. I've never had one. But I've never had a Jazz Inc. I don't know. I can't speak to it.
But I think he said each wing, because he's doing out of resin, is supposed to be like 40 pounds or something crazy. I was like, dude, that thing's gonna break.
And that's what I'm saying. And here's the thing, bro. It's the price.
It could change, right? I don't know.
The price. It's the price with them that is really, really going to kill it for me, man. Because the price, it's as much as look, they make some incredible pieces, but for the material used, especially with Rey Snowspeeder, come on, man. That was kind of even the one I got was fine, but the one that everybody else has received so far has been a problem. Do you want to keep doing that? So it's just like, you don't want to lose that trust. If you're going to give it to us, give us quality, but at the same time, man, kind of shave that price down a bit.
Well, to be fair, I
Yeah,
do have the Hot Toys tumbler, and I do have the Justice League Batmobile,
that Justice League Batmobile is dope as shit.
and it is better quality
So
though.
close.
Yeah, it's dope as
But
shit.
yeah, it is pretty cool. So I will give them that. I will
And
give-
it's no, bro, the snow speeder, like the snow speeder, if you got it intact, presence on that thing is incredible. The accessories
Right.
on that thing is incredible, you know, and with Ray on it, it just looks, I love it. It's a beautiful piece. It's as long as
If
that it comes in peace.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. If it comes
Yeah.
in peace, it's cool, and if it didn't, then
Yeah.
you gotta be told, hey, fix it with putty and paint it yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, definitely.
Not as fun that way. But guys, we got another topic. We're changing gears just a little bit here. We're switching to Carlos's favorite, Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And I want to kind of address this line because the Endgame and Infinity War line, all we've really seen is overproduction and oversaturation and crazy availability, right? But I'm wondering, Carlos and I had this conversation. It was something I think we should talk about. Is the Endgame line going to one day be special, right? Because this is really the climax of the MCU for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Not most, I'm not really to say that, but for a lot of people, until we get these new Kang Avengers films and X-Men and Fantastic Four and all that, everyone's kind of looking back on Endgame with nostalgia and Infinity War, saying like, oh, to me, like I've heard that sentiment expressed, like Marvel kind of ended there. And like once these figures sell out and give it like maybe 5 years, are they going to be like really coveted? That's my question. So I want to start actually back with Ben on this one. So Ben, I'm just sharing Captain America, but we could talk about Loki, Thanos, Iron Man, whatever, right? War Machine, Nebula, Rocket. Do you think this Endgame line is going to be like really sought after one day? Like maybe when they all sell out?
It's hard to say because I think it really depends on what the end of this next phase looks like, right? If it's going to kind of rejuvenate people's love for it. I know that this has been a pretty rough landing for some of these most recent films, as well as some of the shows that have come out, and so I can see why people feel like Endgame was kind of Marvel hitting its peak. And I think if we don't get another peak at some point that we like even more, then yeah, 100%. People are going to start looking back to this film being like, these were the golden age. This was the line that really resonates when I think of Marvel and I think of the real life cast. You know, these are the films that I want to collect from.
Yeah.
The tricky part is that they've obviously made a lot of these figures, like all of them, right? I mean, a lot of them have so many just kind of out there that it's hard to know kind of what level of rarity that they're going to have over time. And so I think with the market being a little oversaturated with figures right now, and with Marvel being oversaturated with content that Hot Toys can kind of draw from, it will really depend on the quality going forward. When I look back at this line, I feel the same way as a lot of folks. I do feel like Marvel did peak a little bit with Endgame, and I've been kind of hoping that it's going to come back. And I've liked some of the content and not some of the others. So in terms of collectability, I can't think of many shows since Endgame that I'd actually really truly want to collect from, with the exception of maybe Loki. And yeah, I even She-Hulk recently, not loving it. So we'll see how it goes, but it just depends, I think, on how rare these figures become or how hard they become to find. But since there was so many of them made, it's going to take a little while, and we're going to have to see Marvel fail, I think, a little bit harder before these become even that much more sought after.
Gotcha. Definitely. That totally makes sense. So, Rich, what do you think, man? Are you thinking this line is going to be something special and sought after one day?
I think this line's a really nice one as well. I think it's out of the Marvel lineup that we've got with regards to innovation and likeness, etc. This is the best that we've got so far. The Battle Damage Mark 85 I've got incoming. I've got it this week. I got it so cheap, Will. I got it for £285.
Wow.
It's $285, and it's like a couple of days old. And it's like, yeah, second and the guy was just selling on eBay. He wanted a quick sale. I sold it, and I'm really looking forward to getting that in. I've always loved Marvel, loved the MCU. Post Endgame, I've not really attached to it at all, and I think everyone's been the same in Phase 4. I think Black Panther will change that for a lot of people, and I think in Phase 5 it should reinvigorate that whole MCU in the people's minds. I think obviously Battle Damage 85, it looks perfect. I can't wait to get it in hand. The Battle Damage Thanos is stunning. I absolutely love that one. I've got that one. The Captain America, awesome. And obviously there were with Thor, didn't look his best there. So I do think there was an oversaturation, and I think obviously they overdeveloped because of the demand during the pandemic, especially for Captain America. Everybody wanted the Captain America. They made a ton load, and then they got them from Hong Kong. Everyone got them from Hong Kong because they didn't want to wait at a sideshow anymore. So it's going to be a long time. It's going to be sat there for a while. If they'd have released the stealth suit, the 2.0 that was announced for Shanghai as a regular release, which I'm hoping they still might down the road, I think that's going to be such a grail for a lot of people. I know you can't wait for this, Will. For me personally, I'm sick of seeing Loki. I really am. The show was just okay.
How dare you?
I respect the honesty, Rich. I respect.
Yeah,
it.
it's true. It's true. I'm kind of sick of seeing him, but he died in inverted commas too many times in my mind. And
that makes sense.
so many times he died, jeez. But I think Infinity War and Endgame is the best it's been as an ensemble cast and for the MCU. I think, like I said, Black Panther 2 is going to really. Everyone's going to go back. Everyone's going to go back, and everyone's going to want this because soon as Black Panther is up, the Marvel fever is going to happen again, and I really truly believe that. And that's like in November, so it's not very far away. And obviously, they have really knocked these down. Like Sideshow, obviously $75 off for Cap and Thor and stuff, and they were pretty much giving them away at one point. So they've obviously got a lot of stock. I'm hoping that they do become Grails. I think it'd just be nice for people who are big MCU fans to have something that they feels really special. I think though the oversaturation of Iron Man figures is going to probably ruin that for a lot of people, though I do believe.
Got it. Totally makes sense. But Lael, what do you think, man? Do you think this Avengers Endgame line, or even Infinity War for that matter, are going to be special one day, maybe in a couple years or more?
Side note. So my bro caught the show the other night. Say what?
Okay.
And Ben, he said that you it brought not funny though. That's dope. He said you remind him of John Krasinski, bro.
Oh, there you go.
He said you were like Mr.
Nice,
Fantastic,
dude.
bro.
Take
I
it.
was like,
I'll
yo, that's
take
what's up.
That's
I
a
was like,
win.
yo, that's what's up. That's a win-win. So that's your new name,
Mr. Fantastic
bro.
over there.
Mr. Fantastic.
Hey, that's a good one.
Take that though. So no, so here's the thing, bro. The Endgame line was special. The reason why it was special for the moment because we were coming off of a film that was incredible. Probably cinematically one of the greatest films of all time. Yeah, you know what I mean, as far as what it gave us. When I think about it, like, bro, I bet you there's not one person in here at least once a week revisits that movie or revisits a moment in that movie or even thinks about it. That's how incredible it was. Like cinematically, here's the thing. You know what, this is crazy, bro? And I go on record to say this. Sequence wise, it was something that I would never have thought I would actually see in cinematic history ever. Translation from a comic book into film, probably even more anticipated for me than to any Star Wars film I've ever seen, literally, because I'm a comic collector. Being a comic collector, and when you see this stuff on film, it's just like, yo, I couldn't literally, bro. I asked Toy, I was in theater like in almost damn near in tears out of everything that I actually saw, because I was like, when this scene popped up on screen, the entire crowd lost their effing mind, because seeing both him and Rescue back to back, that scene was phenomenal. And that was one of the reasons why people wanted to actually collect these figures. With that basically being said, I think the shine got lost because of the delays. When everything was delayed, and it was taking so long, the experience that people actually had with that cap, it was delayed. A lot of people got it. It was delayed. Some people didn't actually get it. Some people canceled their orders, went elsewhere to get it because they couldn't wait. And then we're experiencing the same thing now with Loki. Just for you to basically go back and give us another in-game cap, you know what I mean? From the very beginning of the film, it's a slap in the face of that Loki. So I think that some of those particular occurrences have taken the shine away from the Endgame line. Future, will it basically be special? Not to say it won't. It possibly will. But I just think that, and I honestly, bro, out of almost the entire line, this is an incredible figure. Like, people just don't give it enough credit. This piece is phenomenal. The articulation is not all there, but at the same time, it's still a phenomenal piece to have. Love it. But I'm just saying, with the delays, it's been more of a problem. But at the same time, I mean, still, we've gotten, pure nostalgia from this, all nostalgia from this. And, again, to have these figures in hand, like, I don't have the battle damage 85. I have the clean 85 because I'm on the opposite side of the table when it comes to everybody. I like to basically see, I like the golden era of of Iron Man. I like to basically see him in pristine condition. I like that armor. I'm not really a battle damage fan as everybody else would be. And I know a lot of people will push back on that Tony Stank head skull. It is what it is. But I mean, that's just, how I love this armor. It's one of my favorite armors. Like, this is almost closely knit to the comic, it is like a comic accurate version, just more of an updated version. So I definitely love this armor. But again, I just think that with those things, that kind of what we experienced is one of the reasons why there would be somewhat of a blemish on the Endgame line. But other than that, I mean, even like, for instance, everybody was super, super duper hype about that, the bro Thor, that we actually got from the film. And today we got the figure, and you found out that the only thing that was articulated from us was their arms. Everything else you couldn't move. You know what I mean? Right. So that was basically a problem there. You know what I mean? Like, that fat suit was just way, way too fat. You know what I mean? You couldn't move the legs. You couldn't do too much from it. Yeah, you couldn't do anything from it. And right now, they can't even give away the Smart Hulk. They can't give that figure away.
Nobody wanted that to be.
Nobody really wanted it. You know what I mean? So that right there was an issue. So again, like, it's tough, bro. Like, it's really, really tough. But I think that there's still a place for it. Like, there's basically still a place for it, in history. It'd still be something that's incredible. So again, I got all my figures, man. I love them all. I love everything I got. And the only thing that I didn't get was this bro Thor, because I was like, nah, I'm good. Ever since when I saw the articulation, I was just saying, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, dude. So
I think sometimes
sorry, Ben.
Sorry to interrupt. Well, I think sometimes it's easy to also forget. There were 10-year-olds that watched Endgame that thought it was one of the greatest movies they've ever seen. And in 10 years from now, when they're 20 and they finally got some money in the bank, and they're like, you know what, I loved that movie. I want to go back. And collect some of that line. At least, hopefully, we'll have Loki by then, and then you'll actually be able to complete your line, right? Because I think for some completionist collectors out there, a line that's actually fully formed and finished has a lot more value. When you start feeling that fatigue, like I worry that the television shows have diluted the water a little bit. Not everybody wants to watch the shows, but most people are willing to tune into the films. But then if you're a completionist collector, I loved WandaVision, 100%. But if you are a completionist collector, but you don't want to really watch the shows, but you like the movies, then what do? Like, you're kind of separated a little bit. You have to try and decide where you're going to spend your time and your money. Whereas you can at least look back at the Endgame line and go, that was a piece of history. Here's one whole collection. I can kind of aim for it and target it for my collection and go from there. As we get closer to things like Secret Wars and stuff, again, collector fatigue setting in and people's budgets, like, there's so many possible characters to draw from the comics of Secret Wars. We may burn ourselves out before we're ever able to, collect them all, right? So that may add to the value too, for sure.
And they're still missing. Not only are they missing that Loki, man, but they're missing that in-game Carlos with like as the extra, like the extra. You know what I mean? He was actually one of the cabs driving through New York, man. Like,
that's true, dude. Well, it's Carlos, man. Yeah, it's definitely a thing, man. But Carlos, what do you think, man, about this Endgame line? I know you're going to be like the one to, promote the Endgame line. So fill us in.
All right. So for me, right, that end scene, right, the last hour or 45 minutes, that is probably some of the best cinematic history or scenes of all time. I go back and rewatch it once every 2 weeks at a minimum. Right. Love it. Becca hates it because I watch it so much. Right? It's one of those scenarios for me. So I love Endgame more than Infinity War. Okay. But obviously for me, I love Iron Man because he died. Obviously, I'm going to give Endgame such a huge praise. With that said, I've said for a while now that I don't think the whole line would be special because a lot of characters are still alive. I think a lot of these figures will be chase figures 5-10 years from now. I think that, and you and I have talked about what makes a Grail, and for the most part, it's a good movie, a good head sculpt, and the character is dead. So I think this Captain America will be a Grail because he is the last time we will ever see, this Captain America. And same thing with Iron Man, especially the battle damage version. So I do believe those would be ultra special. I think the majority of this line will be a chase. I don't know if Smart Hulk ever gets there just because of what they've done to that character. I think it's, pretty horrible what they've done to him.
Yeah.
But overall, I wouldn't say the
Agreed.
entire line would be special. Like I said, just a few things would be, Grails. I wouldn't
Mhm.
think this Thor would be special. But if Captain America and Iron Man become Grails, which I think they will be, people will probably try to go after this Thor to have the big three, right?
Mhm.
Because he is from Endgame, even though I do have this figure, and you're right, it's not the most articulated. It's pretty boring figure that it's just there. It is what it is. I kind of see Endgame as I see OT. For me particularly, I love OT more than the sequels and prequels, right? Over time, as more things comes out, even with more movies, I appreciate the original trilogy more for what it is. Mando can be great. I still love OT more, right? When we look at Star Wars. Marvel did peak. It is very true. But right now it's starting from scratch, and it could take 5-7 years to get back to this Endgame, level. I don't think we'll be there in the next year or two. We'll have some good, movies like No Way Home and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever will probably be a huge success.
Shang-Chi, don't forget too.
Shang-Chi, yeah. So they were really good. But the point being is that going back to this, I don't see this as the entire thing being Grails. I just see individual pieces being chase figures, right? So there's going to be more Star-Lords. There's going to be more Iron Patriots. There's going to be more Spider-Mans. They just wouldn't become special enough. But chase, sure. Like I said, there'll be a few of them that would be, really fantastic figures, like a Captain America, like I said, and especially that Battle Damage Mark 85. So, that's my thoughts there.
What is everyone thinking, Carlos? Just real quick, get a quick answer on this before we move on. About in 2.0 Avengers Hawk. I think that would look really good because he was in the film, right? They could easily do a 2.0 of that. Would you guys want that? Because I feel like I know I would.
Yeah. So
definitely.
100%.
For me, it was like, if you still look at that first 2012 Avengers before they reissue Loki and before they reissue the 2012 Cap, those figures were holding their value nicely,
Yeah,
except like Hawkeye and Black Widow, because they're just regular people, or probably not as popular. I don't know. But point being is that, if they remake that Hulk, which to me is an easy 2.0 where they can easily win and make a ton of it, I think that would do really well, and I think they can make it for the Endgame line, and I think that could, go do well for it too. So
yeah, I'd be down. So I would get that Hawk because I currently don't have a Hawk because I don't want to pay those prices, and I don't want to get Smart Hawk. So
no,
I kind of want Avengers Hawk.
Yeah, a Smart Hawk. I saw it in person. I went to Franks and Sons here in California, and obviously because I'm in California, but I saw it and I was like, dang, I could see why people really don't like this. It's boring in pictures and it's boring in person.
Really?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
It is, eh?
For me at least. I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, great thoughts on that one. Let's move to the next line we want to talk about here because I want to talk about Star Wars again. And I know a lot of people in the chat will be happy, but continue to revisit the OG trilogy line. Carlos, Leia, all you guys were mentioning the OG trilogy, right? So I want to show a figure that was announced not too long ago that some may have forgot about, but some not. But they are exploring the OG trilogy line still. Kind of what made me think of this to introduce this topic is I just sold my Han and Chewie, right? And I want to see if there's a possibility. Harrison Ford maybe just doesn't want to give his likeness away or doesn't like Star Wars. I don't know. But could they revisit more of the OG trilogy, like a new Alec Guinness, a new Han Solo, a new Chewbacca? Maybe more Luke Skywalkers, maybe Farm Boy Luke. They remake that one, right? Those are the type of things that I'm looking at, but they could also make things they haven't made before. So I want to ask you guys, Leia, I'll start with you on this one. Do you think Hot Toys is going to continue to revisit this line? I mean, I would think it would be a cash cow pretty much forever, but what do you think?
I definitely think it could be. It's hard to really say because, again, we still haven't gotten Bespin Han.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's still something that everybody wants, from the OT line. I mean, I think that they'll I mean, because remember, we're moving quickly up to, again, 20th anniversary, or no, not 20th, 40th anniversary of Revenge of the Jedi. You know what I mean? 45th or 40th anniversary, I think, of Revenge of the Jedi. That's coming up. So of course we know that we're going to get figures from that line. Again, it's just hard to say because Hot Toys has become really unpredictable. Like that's just the way they are right now. They're unpredictable as to where they're going to go. I want to see it as long as it's treated with a level of respect. Give us Han. You know what I mean? Go back, probably give us a re-release of Chewie. You know what I mean? A retooling when it comes to like that Chewie, because I know a lot of people wanted that. Give us a re-release of, now here's the thing. When I say re-release, retooling, revamp, because I know there's a lot of people that don't want a re-release of the Alec Guinness version because they want something that's special for them. But
Right.
it's possible that will happen. You know what I mean? We don't know yet, but it's a high possibility that it happened. If you're going to go back and revisit OT, dip in the well, give us certain things that we haven't gotten yet. You know what I mean? Like figures that we probably, that were there that we didn't really see. Give us basically the General Lando, General Calrissian that we actually got from Return of the Jedi. I love that suit. Give us that version. You know what I mean? Go back. There's certain things that you can actually do. When it comes, the thing is this is what Star Wars does. It's a cash grab for them to actually go back and do it because they know us over in the North American market and in different areas would get it. And we would love it. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's just again, Revenge. I'm sorry, Return of the Jedi. My bad. My bad.
I didn't want to correct you.
Wait a minute. Revenge was the original. It was the original title of the film.
Okay. So like
before, and that's hence why we basically got Revenge of the Sith as the third. It was paying homage to Revenge of the Return of the Jedi because it was supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi. Because in Revenge of the Jedi, the original synopsis was for Luke to go to the dark side. So remember that. But with that basically being said, there's so many things that they can actually do. Again, General Akbar, we could definitely get that figure. I know a lot of people want 9-num. You know what I mean? So you can actually give us that figure. Again, there's, what? Me myself, I want a Wedge Antilles. You know what I mean? I would love to, because he basically survived all the films. You know what I mean? So why not give us a Wedge? You know what I mean? All the way up into the sequels. You feel me? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be interesting for us to get like, that type of an actual character. But again, I mean, it's I would love it. They can dip in that well. There's so many things that they can actually give us from the films that would be interesting. I actually want them to go back, and I do want Hot Toys to dip in the well and actually give us the Hoth Luke with the tongue. You know what I mean? I would love to actually have that. Give us the, not only just the Bespin Han, but the Hoth Han. You know what I mean? I would love to basically have that particular figure. That would be incredible to have. I don't know. I mean, it's tricky, but I think that they could do it. I mean, Hot Toys, go back, dip in the well, Empire, give us all of the bounty hunters, not just some, all of the bounty hunters. That would be dope. So again, they can do it. It's just, will they?
Right.
Give us a bounty hunter, Carlos. I would love to actually have a bounty hunter, Carlos.
Speeder bounty hunter Carlos.
Yeah, give us that, man. Come on,
Hoth Carlos
with my accessories.
Yeah, exactly, dude. All right, so Carlos, I'm going to jump to you on this one. Do you see them continuing to revisit this line kind of in perpetuity, like just inevitably?
I mean, I do. Right now, Hot Toys is revisiting, the Mark III, RoboCop. Wouldn't surprise me if they revisit Prey. So I think they do original trilogy, And for me, I'm a big sucker for like, classics. So like, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, the first one, A New Hope. For me, the only thing I wish for is like, if they do it, they do it correctly, tastefully, whatever word you want to apply in there. Just because, A New Hope, that Kenobi was released, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And I've said for a while, hey, it's been 5 to 7 years. It's fair game for a 2.0. I know a lot of people, may want it from, hey, it's really special, and it can still be special, right? Because it can be upgraded, better materials, better, posability, especially for someone like Han. So I do believe they go back and redo those lines, especially OT, because we all know Hot Toys loves money, right? So OT, except for Han, just because I don't think that dude likes his likeness redone, right? But aside from him, I think for the most part, everything can get remade. And why not? I think a lot of collectors who are now new Star Wars fans have access to this. I know a lot of collectors who do have it, their value is going to go down, but it has been a little bit. It has been over 5 years. I understand the whole point of collection is to, collect for a long time, but also 2.0s are never a bad thing. Again, look at Mark 3s and all these different things that are coming out. So I do believe they revisit this. I just wish that if they do it in a way, like I said, that's done right. Like maybe they do use like leather materials and a really good body and good, repainting. So that's all I would hope for if they were to go back and redo it. Empire Strikes Back, and like a Hoth Luke or all the different Tauntaun. That would be really cool, especially now that we got the blurg. So if you have like a line of all these, Star Wars creatures, that would be really cool too. But if it was me, as much as I like Empire Strikes Back the best out of any Star Wars movie, I would still want them to go back to A New Hope, just because I would want that entire collection, because it's what started everything for me.
Yeah,
not my favorite movie, but it's what started everything, right? So that's what I would want.
And you know what? I was just thinking about this, Carlos, too. Hot Toys probably said, you know what, fuck you, Harrison Ford, especially what he did to that
Jimmy Fallon,
New Hope on Jimmy Fallon, bro.
Oh yeah.
And whoever that was, I know they were pissed, bro.
I
They was
know,
like,
right?
bro, give me
It was
my money,
probably
bro.
Jimmy's, honestly.
I know.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
but I guess he could just buy another one. It's
Yeah.
It does suck. I mean, watching it, you're like, damn, there's 250 now, a lot more than that. But at the time, $250 just like burned basically in front of you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but. So Rich, what do you think, man? Is Hot Toys going to continue to revisit this? We got Lando, Darth Vader, all these, characters they've done recently. What do you think?
I think they'd be fools not to, really. I think the fact that Empire is one of the best films of all time, not just Star Wars, one of the best films of all time. And I think it's such a classic. I'm afraid that when they did the 40th anniversary, they did Lando, they did Darth Vader, they did Boba Fett and Snow Speed Luke. I just think they could have done a hell of a lot more for that anniversary, and I'm disappointed that they didn't. I'm hoping that they still go back to that well. I agree with what Carlos said, the fact that they should do more stuff anyway with regards to New Hope. If they like money like they do, because they're a company, they should capitalize on this. The fact that everyone is, in regards to the marketplace, Star Wars is it for a lot of collectors. And I think if they release a lot of this from the OT, I think it will get absolutely snapped up with the new releases and new retooling and the new innovations that they are putting in, the USB, lightsabers, etc. All this, it's just license to print money, honestly. If they do an Obi-Wan and they use the same sculpt they did before from A New Hope, honestly, put that with a USB.
Oh, did he freeze?
I think Rich is frozen.
He froze.
He's coming in
for that, and I think I'm going to go. The reception's going a bit there. Yeah, okay. So I think it's absolutely an inevitability. I don't want people to get, obviously, to spend too much money now, and then suddenly in 2 weeks later, they'll get these re-releases, and obviously the values drop. I know what you were talking about earlier, Will. I think you should go ahead and do that, by the way. I think because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Honestly, it will. And I was tempted to buy a Batman 1989 Batmobile recently for like $800 from a friend of mine. But I was like, I know that 2 weeks later they're going to announce a reissue, so I'm just holding off. But yeah, I think for this, absolutely they should. I think obviously Return of the Jedi, license to print money as well, but they need to release the right characters. And I know it would be nice to get all these other ones, the Wedge and all this kind of stuff, but for a lot of new collectors, they don't even have the big three. In Star Wars, done very well anyway. So I think if they think somehow, I think that'll be wonderful. They need to go and put a deal together with Harrison Ford. What they're doing,
right?
It's you know what I mean. It would be amazing to get him on site again to get all these. And I think with obviously him starting to do Indiana Jones, that's coming out next year, they'll probably release some hot toys of that as well. So if they've got the license of that or his likeness from that, then they'll probably try and do that again with Star Wars, because it's all tied. So that's a good chance. But yeah, absolutely, I think it just gets snapped up.
Yeah, I think so too, Rich. So Ben, to round out this discussion, man, what do you think about these OG trilogy OT figures? You think we're going to see more of them?
Yeah, I mean, all amazing points. Let's be honest.
I think you're muted. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
good?
Ben. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All amazing points.
It's all on my end.
Oh,
No worries.
gotcha. Okay.
You know, Star Wars toys have been being made for nearly 50 years, right?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's got easily one of the most proven sales track records of all time. And if Hot Toys doesn't continue to improve the lines and keep giving Star Wars collectors what they're looking for, then I would want them to move aside and let somebody else take the license to make them even better, right? I mean, it is such a loved franchise. It would be crazy for them not to revisit the well. Now, I agree with Carlos, though. If they're going to revisit anything, they have to be better. You know, paint technology gets better all the time. The bodies get better all the time. The materials get better all the time. If we start seeing figures that are just a recreation of what we got in the last 10 years, people, I wouldn't support that, and I wouldn't be happy about that. But again, I think, like, in terms of proven sales track record, yeah, like, we have to see some of these OGs. When I think of Star Wars, you know, I think of like that iconic first film movie poster, you know, and like, I would want to create that in my own collection. Like, I've been collecting Hot Toys since 2008, and I don't have any of the original you know, Hot Toy Star Wars figures, which is crazy when you think about it, but even I missed them, right? So there are a ton of us out there that, you know, may not be willing to pay these crazy aftermarket prices that would 100% eat up a new release. I think Hot Toys doesn't number their figures for a reason, right? They want to be able to revisit these wells slowly over time. They just got to do it better. We just have to keep pushing on them and expecting more from them, because I think Hot Toys sometimes does fall into that rut of doing what's easy, doing what's cheap, just like a lot of companies out there, let's be honest. But with competitors like, you know, Inart coming into the market, I know that they can't get the Star Wars license right now, but that's not to say they'll never be able to get it down the road. And some of the likeness we've seen from their figures, at least from some of their prototypes, you know, if we could get a Luke that looks like that, a Han, I mean, any of them, right? Any of them would be sweet for them to be slowly improved. I started collecting Hot Toys because I wanted the best possible shrink ray version of that character in my collection possible. And if that means Hot Toys gives me the next one, great. If another company comes along and scoops that license and gives it to me, I'd also celebrate them. So they better get smart, I would say, and make some good ones if they're gonna hit it.
And I think they definitely will. And like you guys were saying, and others in the chat, the 40th Return of the Jedi is coming up next year. So at that point, you'll probably see some package figures like kind of like these, the 40th anniversary Empire figures, where you're going to see that cool little box art that reminds you of like sort of Hasbro-ish type things. But it looks really cool, right? So because I got the 40th Vader and I love it. I think it's just really cool. Lando was like that too. I mean, there's just a lot of cool figures from that line, the Boba Fett. So yeah,
what is that from Return of the Jedi? It's the pit for
Sarlacc?
Sarlacc pit?
Sarlacc pit. Like if they were to redo it again, but actually, you know, with a cooler base, that would be pretty cool. You know,
yeah, that would be cool. Give a new Boba Fett with like a Sarlacc pit, you know? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I know they did it before, but it was out of scale. It looked a little funky.
Right.
But, an updated
it could be a 2.0.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So
I liked Linda's comment there. She said she'd vote for a Han and Greedo set. That would be awesome. Then you could decide who shoots first, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, actually. That'd be really cool. So, guys, I want to change gears just slightly again to another topic. This is something I think that I've heard expressed a decent amount, and I kind of want to see what everyone's thoughts are on this. Inart, and I know Ben was mentioning this, like Inart's the new player coming into the game, right? We don't have any final products in hand yet. We don't know how they're actually going to be. The protos look incredible. Even the production pieces that they've showed from Joker look great from the photos. But we don't have them in hand yet, so we really don't know, right? But I'm wondering if J&D, you know, it's hard to say. I get it's speculation because we haven't seen any of their 1/6 even advertised yet. But I'm wondering if we can compare them because I think that's the angle I want to take in this discussion, because what I've heard, some people say is like, well, you can't really compare Inart and Hot Toys, but my guess my pushback to that would be like, I feel like we do that with Hot Toys and 3.0 though. You know what I mean? Like we compare them, right? And Inart, while a little more expensive and while we're going to have a little bit higher standards because we're paying a little bit more, Hot Toys has been the king in realism up until maybe this point, but still until this point, until Inart actually releases something, right? So I want to ask you guys, do you think it's fair to compare them, even when J&D creates their 1.6? Can we, and they're more expensive than Inart, which we may talk about. Can we compare them to Hot Toys? So I want to start actually with Carlos on this one. Carlos,
Yeah.
do you think we can compare the 316 companies like fairly? Is that something we can do?
I think we can. I think overall, depending, on the figures, right? But I think for the most part we can, right? Because if we look at Inart, we look at something like the Batman, right? And when I'm comparing them, I'm gonna try to usually compare it to the sculpted version, not necessarily the premium version, because Hot Toys is not offering that. So I do try to compare, the closest in price, because for me, I don't know if J&D would be would be probably uncomparable, right? Because I've said there was a market for Inart for $500 figures. I've said that for a while, way before Inart even came in. I don't believe there was a market for J&D if they're coming in at like $750 or more, right? I didn't believe that. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to talk about that later, but we are. Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I do believe that we can compare them, just because at the end they're somewhat similar in price. Their quality is supposed to be the best, because you have to remember, right? For when Hot Toys was around, everybody said if you want the very best, it's Hot Toys, right? And we've always said, well, how much better can you get than Hot Toys? And based on photos, based on prototypes and what we've seen, because Hot Toys is the same thing, right? All we can look is photos, because we don't have the Batman in hand, right? We know their work, sure, but we also know that there's a lot of misses for them, right? So we understand that going into it. So for me, I think it is a fair comparison, depending what you're comparing to. So again, the non-premium version Batman to their 515, I think the Inart, based on protos and photos, it looks significantly better, right, from Inart. So I think because the prices are pretty close, I think it is. And besides Hot Toys and Inart, when it comes down to 1.6, they're the two biggest players, right? We wouldn't compare Hot Toys to 3.0, right? No one's comparing, or at least I don't think so. People are not comparing the Inart Gandalf to the 3.0 one, because
Right.
the Inart is just significantly better. They're not in the same division. They're not in the same league. It's just completely out of where they're at. No one's like if Inart was to get the license for the boys, no one's gonna compare Inart to what's called Star Ace or Ace.
Star Ace, yeah.
Yeah, right. Because their figures are, probably not the best out there. Now, I feel a few people in the chat saying, "Hey, nothing's been released," and that's fair. But all we can do is make our assessment and judgments based on what we're seeing on photos and so forth. When things come out, maybe our opinions are going to change. But as of right now, based on protos and photos, I think it's a fair comparison, depending on which ones you're comparing to. And I think a lot of people is the reason why they've been excited, because if you compare Pennywise to the in-hand Pennywise we get, the photos look significantly better. At least to me, they do. The Batman definitely looks better, and obviously Gandalf is not even a comparison to 3.0. So I think it is. Again, I don't think J&D, if they ever make a 1.6, it will be comparable, because I think they're going to get into crazy markets. So that's yeah.
Yeah, and Carlos, before we jump to Ben on this one, I do want to address kind of, what Tremble Dust had said. So Tremble, I think maybe you're not understanding the question. So like what I'm saying is like, of course we don't have anything in hand at the moment, so we can't compare them in hand, but these are purchasing decisions that people have to make, right? So when you're looking at this, like if I look at comparing the Hot Toys Pennywise and the Inart Pennywise, the Hot Toys Pennywise I could go grab on Facebook right now for under $200. Or I could compare that to the Inart and say, okay, I want to grab that for $500, right? Those are the type of comparisons that I'm asking whether they're fair or not whether like they're both good in hand or not, because we couldn't obviously make that comparison. But when you're making a purchasing decisions, you have to compare these. And I also saw, I think Linda was saying like the photographers, when comparing, you have to depend how good the photographers are. All these photographers are good. So really to me, it's not a matter of like, whether this photographer is better than that one. Like all these guys or gals are professionals, right? So really, it's not like that really matters all that much. That's not a huge factor for me because I think all of these photographers can do a really good job. So that's my thing. So Ben, I want to jump to you on this one. Do you think it's fair to compare these considering, the price differences and, the overall factors involved with both?
Yeah, I do, to be honest. And I think it's because the companies actually invite that comparison themselves. When Inart came on the market, they said, we want to be the next evolution of 6-scale figures. We want to be the new kings.
Right.
Well, as soon as you hear that there's a new king in town, you're 100% immediately going to think of the other king that's currently taking the seat, right? But then their next step was to release figures that Hot Toys have already done. And their list of future figures and future releases are looking pretty similar to, again, figures we've received from Hot Toys, right? If they're talking about doing a Superman, they're talking about doing a BVS Batman, or at least an Affleck Batman. I don't know if they've said which one yet specifically. We've had the Pennywise, we've had the Batman, the Pattinson Batman. Like, they're giving us figures to compare. I think the difference is, and where it's not fair for panelists to have a decision, or for me to tell somebody else that you should choose this because of X reason, that's not fair, because I think what is important to people and what their figure does in their collection is more personal than what I can tell you. So for example, I may compare the likeness on Inart head sculpts and say, well, I think the Inart is better. But somebody else might come along and say, yeah, but the posability on Hot Toys is better, and I like posing my figures. I don't want just a small scale statue. So there are price points that you're always going to compare, because we still have money, we still work hard for our money, we still have to make sure we got the money in the bank to buy these things. So I think it's justifiable to make sure that whatever you're spending your money on, you're getting the value that's important to you as the collector. But again, these companies definitely invite these comparisons. Otherwise, why wouldn't Inart choose the plethora of other amazing figures or characters that they could choose from in the world? Like, there are so many cool franchises out there that they could still draw off of, but they're trying to take the king out at the knees. So of course we're going to compare them. It just really depends on what's important to you. Is it the posability? Is it the likeness? Is it the materials? Is it the price? What's important to you to make your justification purchase? And that's something that we could never tell the panel or the chat to do. That's their decision. It's their money. So I think comparison when it comes to sales and products has to happen. Because if we just say somebody should just wear the king crown because they look better, that's just one piece of that comparison pie.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Carlos, what do you want to say real quick?
Well, I know that when before Inart, a lot of times what I always heard was what Ben said earlier, right? That we got into collecting because we wanted the best representation of likeness of that character, right? And posing always came second, or at least that's what I've always, for the most part, heard. And I think that's what Inart's going to give us. I do want to point out, though, that I don't believe this will be statue-like figures. I think it's going to, because John has said it's going to be articulation based on, or posability based on character. So Joker will be able to do Joker things, not Spider-Man things, right? Like, that's the main thing there. That's all I have to say.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and posability will be an important thing. Like, I know, Lael, that's going to be important to you. But do you think it's fair, Lael, to compare these considering the price differences and maybe the slightly different approach? But Inart's clearly inviting the comparisons because, like everyone said, they're tackling characters that Hot Toys has done or are going to do, because they know, and everyone knows, Hot Toys is going to make this Joker again. So Inart just got ahead of them and put out a banger from the proto, at least. And now Hot Toys got the ball in their court to release theirs, right? So what do you think, Lael? Can we compare them?
I mean, the comparison is healthy, but it's based off of perception and perspective. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to actually have their own ideas of what they want, whether they want realism or articulation, what price they're willing to pay, because people will pay these prices, especially if they think they're getting a better deal, bang for their buck.
Right.
If they think that they're getting, something that is authentically incredible, more appealing than, some people prefer realism over articulation, vice versa. But I think, from, and that's going to happen. Like that's, whether and we're not here to tell you what you should do, because
Right.
you're going to do what you want to do at the end of the day. I mean, for me, it's just, I don't have, the figure in hand to really tell, or to be able to actually say, Inart is inherently better than, Hot Toys. J&D hasn't released anything. So right now they're not even in the discussion for me. You know what I mean? Because until we see it, until we see those pieces, I can't really compare anything with them. So right now it's a battle of attrition between Hot Toys and Inart. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking at. But you know what I mean? Like, again, once they do release something and they give us an idea, then we can actually say, okay, there's more competition out there. For me, personally, like I said, I mean, I just don't go in it, because I think it's there's space and opportunity for both. Inarts, they're coming around, they're basically presenting a choice. Now we're getting, better art, better, I think in my opinion, as far as sculpting, realism, it's better. Again, when they released this, I was most excited about this particular figure because, again, I've always wanted to have this version of Joker. So when Inarts dropped it, knowing in Hot Toys right now, they're not dipping in that well. If they do, it'd be surprising. I mean, again, they may, but I think Inarts beat them to the punch. And we got this figure. They know that people are really, really, diving in on this one. So, of course, I had to, pull that trigger and get it because, again, it was a figure that I want. I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people felt. If Hot Toys decides to basically give us that, of course, that Catwoman,
Oh yeah.
I would definitely get that. You know what I mean? Because they're both companies is going to they're giving me something. You know what I mean? They're giving me something. They're giving me variances. They're giving me choices. So of course, that's just the way it is. But again, I may think that in my opinion, I may think that comparing right now is just not important to me. It's not something that we can do. It's healthy and people will do it. It's just that from my perception, not having a figure in hand, I'm not going to compare, because the thing is, I might basically, might have paid the price to get this Joker, but once I get it, I may not be as impressed as everybody else. You know what I mean? It may happen. And I may decide at that point that I'll never buy, another figure from him again. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm just saying that could be one of the issues that I experience. But again, I want to have it in hand before I'm able to say, okay, whether or not, and even once I get it in hand, I'm going to say it's great, but I'm still going to buy a Hot Toys figure. You know what I mean? Because that's, the simple fact that I'm getting certain figures and they have the licensing and certain things that Inarts doesn't. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I think that, the longevity is there for Hot Toys. They've already proven themselves. Inarts is coming in and they can prove themselves as long as they decide to give us, and then they kind of dip into that well a bit more and go beyond of what we've already seen. You know what I mean? I know they're doing this right now because, like I said, they want to keep up with the competition and they want to show what they can do. But once you've proven yourself, then give us something else. Show us that you can do something. I want to see your range at that particular point, but you have a space. Just like when J&D actually comes out, they'll have a space, with the figures they give us. And I think that the realism is going to be increasingly, it's going to be, it's going to be incredible. We already know what J&D can do when it comes to their line and their statues, what they've given us already. But we already know it's going to be super pricey. I'm not going, you'd be naive to say it wouldn't be when it comes to J&D.
Right.
They've already shown us. And I already know right then and there that it's not going to be something for me. Because I already know that I can already guess and bet the price is going to be too much. And that's when I'm checked out. So again, you know what I'm waiting for. As soon as, Inarts releases that Wonder Woman, I'm all in for it already because I know they're going to give us perfection with that piece. But again, for me right now, it's just that I'm reserving any type of comparison until I get that Joker in hand and I can say, look, the quality is there. But with saying that, I think comparing is healthy depending on a person's choice and what they want. So,
yeah, that makes sense. Carlos, what do you want to say real quick?
I was going to say, Layout, do you think they're starting to show their range by doing I forget this dude's name, but the Dune character and like Harry Potter?
Paul Atreides, yeah.
Do you think they're starting to show?
Well, Paul Atreides is being done by someone else. You know what I mean? So that's... Yeah.
It was like it's licensed, but I forget the company's name.
Yeah, it's being done by someone else.
Toys or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I think it's like a third-party company.
So somebody has already put that out there. But with the Harry Potter line,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's innovative because I mean, at least we know that, they're giving us, something different. And once we see it, then it depends on what version they give us. I mean, and the thing is, like, I'm all in for it because
Yeah.
I love Harry Potter. So I would definitely basically be in for that line. But I think also a line that they can tackle because they do have it is Matrix. Give us a
Yeah.
Morpheus. Give us a Trinity.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Give us
When
the
you say-
twin. You
so
know,
when
yeah.
When you say range, you mean more because when I see a range, I see them doing like Lord of the Rings. But when you say range, do you mean more like less
Variants.
popular characters?
Give
or
us, or not even less, because here's the thing, bro. Whether like people can say she's not. Trinity's a popular character, bro. In that line, people would want that figure, especially as a companion piece to Neo. To have both of those in your collection, just like I'm saying, like a Selena Kyle is an important character.
Selena Kyle's
Very important. So that's what I'm saying. Like companion pieces are going to be important, for those lines. Don't just give us a Neo and stop there. If you do that, then it's going to be like, okay, I'm not impressed. Yeah, it might look better, but I'm not impressed because I've seen it before. Give us something different. I mean, if you have Warner Brothers line, if you have the licensing, unless, in fairness, unless they're told that they can only delve into these particular figures, then I understand it. Then they can only do what they do. So they have to actually show us a level of perfection with what they've been given. You know what I mean? But I do want to see them kind of just expand a bit, do something different, because I think that you can. I think there's a possibility that you can do that. And I would be all in for it. I mean, but again, I understand, as much as I'm like, I wish they would give us something different. I understand it out the gate. You have to challenge the competition. You have to basically come out and dive into these particular lines right here, because again, I'm all in for that Wonder Woman. I'm definitely all in for that. And depending on what you give us with that Batfleck, I'll probably be in on that too, as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. But not only rooted I'll actually go for right now, other than the Joker, is the Wonder Woman. Any other figure, even with the bat, I'm not, if I get that figure once, it's going to be a deciding factor whether or not we get a Selena anytime soon. But if I go with that, I'm getting the sculpted. I'm not getting rooted, with that. But
you want to get rooted for Inart? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not getting the rooted for Inart.
Oh, you okay?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I definitely wouldn't, because I mean, again, I don't think I need it, for that. And yeah, I'm
to put that head sculpt on the golden armor one from Hot Toys, assuming that
I wonder if it would work. Yeah,
it depends on whether or not it works, because they might not even
It's magnetic.
It'll probably be magnets.
Yeah.
It's just the basic. But here's the thing, bro. Believe it or not, the sculpted, I mean, the rooted hair on the golden armor Wonder Woman is not that bad if you treat it right.
Not that good either, though.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the person and how.
Yeah. With the helmet, the helmet looks good.
Yeah, but the Inart will the proto will probably be better.
I don't know. It'd definitely probably be better, but I mean, I just think that again, it just sometimes you got to treat your figures with care. I mean, we know Inarts will be better depending on, and plus they're using a different rooted texture, so we already know that. But again, it just we'll see how it goes. But again,
yeah, we will.
I'm interested in seeing who's going to tackle that Selena Kyle first. That's an important figure to me.
That has to be a license problem or something, because no one's made it.
Which is very surprising. I think I would thought for sure Hot Toys would have announced one by now.
Yeah, but I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's licensing issue. But Rich, round us out on this one, man. What do you think, man? Is it fair to compare these when you're making purchasing decisions? Are they like different tiers, so to speak? What do you think?
I think it's completely fair to compare. That's a nice rhyme. I think absolutely. I think if Hot Toys released a Joker, Heath Ledger Joker at the same time, people would naturally compare the two, regardless of if they're in hand or not, because people have only so much money. Very much to what Ben said in his comments, very articulately, I might add, was that people have only so much money, and they have to be very selective about what they buy. For me and Liao, we've been talking about the Batman. I love the Batman. I'm going to buy both versions because I love the film and I want to compare them once they're both in hand. And I'll probably use one for a different display option. And then I think this one is going to be far superior, but I want to also own the Hot Toys one.
Mm-hmm.
If Hot Toys release a Joker, Heath Ledger Joker, there's no way I'm going to buy that now, because I'm going to have already bought by that time the Inarts one. So it's fair to compare it, but at the same time, if people have already bought it, then are they going to just sell up and then they're just going to get the next best thing constantly refresh? No, they're not, because they're going to end up losing lots of money from it. Now, this here, like you said, that head sculpt's nowhere near as good as the Inart one. You can straight away, you can say that. Regardless of it's the rooted or the not, or the sculpted. But I think the suit still looks very impressive for Hot Toys. I'm more and more selective as I am now with my figures and my buying choices. And I'm like what you said last week, Will, you said about your DX9. I've purposefully not opened mine yet, because I'm thinking I might sell it before they announce one for Inart, which they're going to probably do very soon. Right. If they do that, then the market's going to crash on the price of the DX19. I might sell it now, because people will naturally compare it when they're making that buying decision. Am I going to spend $300 or $500? They're going to buy the best thing. They're going to buy that, okay, I want a presence of Bale in my collection, and it's going to look like that. And that's what they're happy to go and spend that, because they can payment plan and stuff like this. I've been thinking about getting the Queen Studios Heath Ledger Joker. I've been thinking about that. But at the same time, I know that this Inart one's coming out soon. I'm like, okay, do I need two?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you also say again?
The quarter scale.
The third scale.
Oh, the third scale, the police station one, right?
Yes, the police station one. Yeah. Do you have that one, by the way, Will? So
I did at one point. You mean the one sitting on the bench, or do you mean the one?
Yeah,
one
that
with the gun.
Yeah. The one sat down.
Oh yeah, I had it at one point and I sold it because I was going to get J&D, and I actually just got the Queen quarter scale one, which actually is shipping like any day now. So. Oh
right, okay, yeah. So like for me, I want to have like one really good, the best one of each character that I love, and I think. Do you reckon? I think the Inarts within my budget is going to be the best route for me. So yeah, I think it's natural to compare them. We want the best value for our money, and obviously recession's coming, winter is coming, and I think more and more people have to be more selective about what they buy. And if it means as well they're buying quality over quantity, I think that's a natural progression with a lot of collectors as well. I think that will end up being a point for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'll be interested to see how this shakes out. But guys, some of you guys were touching on this. We have one more topic for the evening. I want to talk about this because, we've all kind of referenced this in passing, right? Is there a market for J&D 1/6 if they come in at a higher price than Inart? Because that could happen. It could not happen. This is just fun speculation, right? I'm just going to share a J&D statue. I just saw this was actually in stock. So if anyone wanted to get it, it is available in Big Bad Toy Store, which is pretty crazy. But we know that the pricing for this guy for a third scale is $26.99, right? Some Queen Studio statues are really expensive too. We don't know whether J&D is going to be more expensive than Inart, but they might be. They might come in at the same price or fairly similar, right? So I'm going to actually jump to Carlos again on this one. Carlos, because I know you and I talked about this one. About this figure with J&D coming in. Are they going to come in at a higher price than Inart, do you think? If so, is the market just is that the breaking point? Because originally you said differently, but I thought maybe Inart was going to have a hard time moving figures for $550. I thought they were going to have a hard time doing that. Doesn't seem to be the case so far. Maybe not on the scale Hot Toys moves them, but those figures are selling out and they're making thousands of them. Hot Toys might be making 20,000, where Inart's making 5, but still they do seem to be selling. But what do you think, Carlos? If J&D comes in, say $700 for a 1/6 figure, is there a market for that that's sustainable?
Yeah. So J&D, they're going to come in pretty expensive. So from a business branding perspective, if you're selling 1/3 scale statues at the price of what a half scale is supposed to be, right? You're the premium for all statues, right? You don't want your brand to be aligned with Inart, Queen, or Hot Toys, meaning because if you do so, unless they create like a sister company like Queen, but even then, you really don't want that ultra premium line in any way associated, at least not from a branding perspective. If they do, that would be pretty, like I said, pretty bad business move on their end. So I think they're gonna come in and their figures are gonna be $750 minimum, maybe even $1,000. I believe they're gonna charge quarter scale prices for their 1/6 figures, meaning $800, $900. Some of those really premium ones, maybe even $1,000, right? That's what I strongly believe it's going to happen. I don't believe there would be a market for this. Well, there's a market for everything, but I guess like how big of one, right? I think it's going to be a very, very limited market. I always believe Inart or any company would have came in at 400 to like 550. There was a market because that's people's grails, right? If it's a good enough figure and the batch is 5,000 figures or so, if it's a good character, people were going to buy it because that was their grail. It wasn't going to be, I'm going to collect every single Inart. That's not probably what people are doing. But for the characters they love, I see it. I don't see this happening because when the Inart Joker was announced, it came out and everyone said it's $1,000 effing dollars, right? And everybody started panicking. Everybody started saying, nah, it's not for me. I'm not going to go that route. But once we realized it was 2 figures, they were like, okay, kind of everybody calm down a little bit. If J&D comes in with these very specific, super high-end prices, I don't care what they really make these figures out of. It's going to be a very, very small market, and a ton of people are going to pass on it, right? Especially if they're doing figures like, for example, if they come out and do a Heath Ledger already that Inart's already doing, if they charge $1,000 for one when you can getting 2 for Inart, it's just not going to work out in their favor. No, I don't believe there will be a market for J&D in 1/6 sustainable, at least long term, if they're coming in at like $800. And I think that's where they're going to be. I think Inart, their Joaquin Joker is going to be somewhere between $600 and $750. And that figure, depending how it does, I believe if I'm J&D, if I'm from a business mindset, I'm looking to see what they're doing, right? Because if that figure does really, really well, then I may be just spitting, or just saying stupid shit at this point. But if that figure does really well, then I think J&D may see that as a potential market for them. But I don't even believe Joaquin Joker is going to do well at that $600 to $700 price range. So I don't see how J&D will at even a higher one. Because again, you cannot align yourself from a branding business perspective. This is what I do, right? I do branding for companies and marketing. You cannot be the same price or close to Inart because you're aligning your company with them. You're saying we are the same, and that's not what J&D wants to be. So.
Right. It's not what they're going for and what they've marketed their products at so far. Before I get to Ben on this one, Figure Shot, thanks so much for the super chat. J&D 1/3 Indiana Jones coming next year. Excited. Is it confirmed? I hadn't heard that. Does anyone know? If it is Figure Shot, that would be great. It wouldn't be for
cool.
me, but I mean, would anyone else grab that if Indiana Jones is made 1/3?
J&D prices, no, I couldn't.
Yeah, it'd probably be like $2,500. So yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, Figure Shot doesn't sound like anyone here would get it. If it has been confirmed, that's fantastic. But not for me. But thanks for the super chat, man. Indiana Jones would be cool. I mean, hey, maybe Inart making Indiana Jones at some point. But Ben, what do you think, man? J&D 1/6. Do you think there's a market if they're more expensive?
I think it depends on how they tackle it. I think Carlos hit on some great points. I think if J&D comes in and their figures are really, really good, they look amazing, but they're numbered, that will separate them from the competition. Yeah. I think there's always going to be a market of people out there that want to have the most expensive option. They may not even like it more. It's the reason Ferrari does so well, right? The average person can't afford a Ferrari, but they still sell a ton of them every year to the folks who can. There are statues out there, full scale, life scale, busts and stuff that are like the cost of small cars. And we're like, how could anybody justify it? And then, within their window, they're immediately sold out. And it's like, well, there's clearly people out there who want the quintessential most expensive collection. I think that there's always going to be a market for the next kind of perceived echelon of figures. I just don't necessarily think it's our group. Maybe it's not the folks even in the chat today. There are going to be people who seek it out. I think if they are numbered, I think that's going to separate them from the competition. I actually think that's a miss on Inart. I think Inart should have considered numbered just to have their next pricing level kind of even that much easier of a pill to swallow for people. But I think it's going to depend on how good the quality Inart is once we have them in hand, because like it doesn't like. I mean, we said this about Hot Toys. It's hard to get much better, and then we've seen some prototypes of Inart, and we're like, okay, maybe you can get better, but then J&D would have to come in and be even better than that. Like, that's getting to the point of being mind-boggling. So, like, if they do come in and they are even better than somebody like Inart, then yeah, I think people would be willing to pay the price. It might just not be collecting like we have now. Even Inart, you know, I think about the two Batman figures, and I think, you know, for me, I'd probably display that figure with this cowl on most of the time. So do I need to pay the Inart prices to have the Robert Pattinson likeness just for that head sculpt to sit in the box? Whereas for me, Heath Ledger's Joker, that's easily one of my favorite characters of all time. I absolutely love that character. So yeah, I was willing to pay that extra dollar amount to, you know, from my DX11 that I've got behind me to get that Rooted Hair 2-pack. I can't wait to see what those two figures look like beside the DX11, even if it blows them out of the water, because that, to me, like for my own collection and my own like Grail status in my you know room here, that's important to me. But I think for the J&D collectors, as I said, if we're considering that, they either have to be significantly better, they have to be numbered, something that separates them from the competition, or their likeness has to be better than we could even possibly imagine. And at that point, we may actually invite a higher price if the likeness is truly there. So it'll be curious to see. I do like Carlos's point, though, in the sense of, you know, if there's too much market being shared at the same dollar amount, you look like your competition, and that isn't good. And so, yeah, they're coming in a little bit late to the game because they're almost going to not have a choice. They're going to have to be a little bit more expensive in order to say we are still better than the next guy. So we'll be curious. But
it could be a marketing.
I think you'll see sales on it, though. I think if they come out, definitely will.
Well, I guess we'll see. But Rich, what do you think, man? Is there a market for J&D 1/6 if they're more expensive than Inart? What's your thoughts on this?
I think obviously, like what Ben said, I think if they numbered them, I think there'll be some prestige version of a character. I think some people, not me, will spend that money to get the premium of the premium. But and they will sell out because J&D really sell out very quickly. The statues all the time. If they did 1/6, they could have the same customer base that they have for the statues. They might want the six scale version of them. But I think for people moving from Hot Toys to J&D, there's going to be less of that. I think there's going to be a market for it, but it's not going to be anywhere near the level of Hot Toys and Inart. Inart at the moment are obviously the flavor of the year. They are the talk of the town. Everyone is very much getting on the Inart game. I do think if they release another Heath Ledger Joker, whether it's Hot Toys or J&D, it has to be something completely different, and you're not going to really offer anything majorly different apart from J&D. They do maybe the material or the skin, the silicone skin and stuff like that, but not many people are going to be able to afford that because they've just bought the Inart one. But also as well, it would be a completely different level, and I think it will open it up for a different prestige level of collectors that will just buy 1 or 2 a year opposed to 5 to 10 a year. So that might happen as well. Like I said, about people getting more and more quality than quantity. And I think more and more people will be selective before they click that pre-order button. I think more and more people are going to go, okay, what else is out there? What else is rumored to be coming in from J&D? What else can be coming in from Inart before they make that decision? I think what we're saying earlier about the comparison side, I think that's going to be something as well that people are going to be thinking about before they make any purchasing decision now. What else is out there and what else can they get for their money?
Yeah. Very fair points, guys, all of you. And Lael,
Hmm?
what do you think, man? What do you think the market is going to be for this? Are you going to be interested in these type of prices? What do you think?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. I mean, even with this Golden Armor Wonder Woman, how beautiful it is.
Mhm.
It's an amazing piece. But again, like I said, we know they're the higher echelon of figure making when it, or statue making, which will be translated in 1/6. I think, like I said, each company has a market. You know what I mean? They have their followers. J&D has followers. They have people who basically and from from their perspective, they're more happier about this because they know that in figure form is probably going to be less expensive, you know what I mean, than what it is as a statue collector. So of course I know they're going to be excited about it when J&D decides to do it, or if they decide to basically do that, which it is what it is, or it might come out the same, who knows. But there's a market for it there. Inart has their followers. Hot Toys has their followers. For me, price wise, again, I've never been able to afford a J&D piece, and I definitely won't be able to afford a 1/6 scale piece. And I probably won't even, because I mean, at the end of the day, bro, we got to remember they're beautiful pieces, but they are still toys. And we have to basically look at realistic, and we live in a real world. Are you going to basically pay your rent, or are you going to pay these particular prices? You know what I mean? And is it to a point that where it's really getting outlandish? Because again, you have to go into it just understanding not everybody is rich. We're not making that much money. You know what I mean? So again, stay within your range. You might want to a J&D piece might be decent, but if you can't afford that, remember there's Hot Toys is still there. There's Inarts that'll probably be a bit cheaper as well. Or who knows? Nobody knows until they release the figure, or they actually release their lineup and say what those prices are going to be. Or they could even surprise us and be like, you know what? We're on the line, more on the lines of Hot Toys than we are with Inarts. We want to be competitive with them. They might be looking at what Inarts is doing right now and the pushback they're getting for certain prices and stuff like that, and say, you know what, we want to come just under that because we know we can. We want to make it more competitive, but not saying that they will. I'm just saying that there's a possibility that they could, but at the same time, for me, if they don't do it, and I'm like I said, I mean, that's hypothetically. I'm not saying that they will, because they probably won't. And then on top of that, you got to also look at the simple fact that there's import. Those prices you're going to pay for shipping to get those pieces over here, because they're not necessarily going to cater to the North American market. It is what it is. Yeah. But again, those things you have to kind of be realistic and think about and consider. But yeah, no, I know I'm gonna be checked out.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but Carlos, what do you want to say, man?
So, all right, when it comes into J&D, man, you have to remember. So I have a few friends who collect J&D pieces, quite a few. And one of the things we always talk about is value, right? I feel like now I've been very blessed to have more than I deserve, and I do buy high-end pieces like J&D's, half scales, and life size, like Ben was referring to, right? So those are things that I can do, thankfully. When we look at these kind of pieces, right, one of the things we're going to always look at is from an investment standpoint. We're no longer looking at a hot toy. We're no longer looking at $150, $200 figure. We're looking at $1,000 figure or more, right? These are the kind of things that I don't believe a company can go make 500 or 1,000 of them at selling them at $1,000, and there be a market for the has a resale value to it. Because you have to remember, if there is $1,000 Heath Ledger Joker, right? What is that going to resell for? $2,000, $1,800? How much is that really going to go for? At that point, for someone who is a little bit more well off, spending an extra $1,000 isn't going to phase you. And I know that sounds a little weird, but if you're a doctor, lawyer, like someone in Florida, then yes, and spending an extra $1,000 is not, because it doesn't face me sometimes. So I'm assuming it's not going to face them. So they'll rather get a third scale or something that's going to be a little bit more in detail. It's going to be a little bit bigger, more presence. While 1/6 is great, I feel like high-end collectors, there are those that do want custom figures, but those numbers are going to be really low. So I don't even think a number figure will do it for them. It might do it short term. So, there will be a hype, but eventually that will die down. And now, like look at the Heath Ledger from J&D; it's still sitting around, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that numbered or any of that it's going to help this company out or even be a market for it. Because I don't think as who we or the people that I talk to that we say, hey, like, would this be a good investment piece? That's always the first thing. Like, is this a good investment piece? What do you think this would be? What do you think the value is going to be? We typically talk about that a lot. I don't think there'll be a value of resale for 1.6 because who do you sell it to at that point? You know, so
Right. Yeah.
But
'Cause, I mean,
is that more of a U.S. problem too? Because you think about
yeah.
like Hong Kong and living quarter sizes, for example. There's a lot of places there that, like, well-off people living still in very small places. So looking at statues or even 1/3 quarter scale, that's a tough pill to swallow. They just don't have the space. They might be able to afford it, but that's where that 1/6 kind of comes into that sweet spot of I can have a little bit more in my house without taking up so much real estate and still having perceivably the most expensive collection out there. I still think maybe it's a U.S. issue that, like, we wouldn't necessarily see the value in it, and maybe we wouldn't have that resale ability, but people with more in smaller spaces may still have that. Hard to know.
But I think that's where J&D was able to capture them, right? Because if you look at a J&D, which is 1/3, their bases are only 12 by 12. That doesn't take up a whole
Still
lot.
pretty small.
Yeah, it's still pretty
it's just
small.
the height
overall.
but, yeah,
It's a
that's
height, yes, but for the most part, it's still relatively small. And I still believe high-end collectors are still going to look at it from a resale investment standpoint. Look, you can love collecting, and I do as well. We all do. That's why we're all here spending, almost 2 hours. Some of us are up, almost 3 a.m. talking about this stuff, right? It's all great. But at one point, the love only goes so far, and we look at it from an investment standpoint. And I believe once you start getting to $1,000, it's like, okay, like if I really wanted to sell this, how much could I sell this for? And if I am getting to that point, how much could then at that point, what else can I get for that same money? You see what I mean? So it starts getting a little bit, skewed and kind of things are overlapping. But we'll see. Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I strongly believe there is no market or a very, very small one for J&D.
What do you think, Leo?
And that I agree with. The only part is, again, there are a lot of people out there that want high-end pieces. They are, looking at investments. But then there are people like me who don't really care about the market and really, want these figures just because it's nostalgia. You want to be able to pull and have art pieces. And, again, you want what's affordable and long-term, because even those high-end collectors out there, there's some people out there, like, for instance, let's just say, for instance, I'll throw out a name. What's his name? Moon Knight. What's his name? Oscar Isaac. He's a collector. Yeah. And he still collects hot toys. You know what I mean? He basically collects those figures because, again, to hear him talk about it is the art pieces, it's nostalgia, stuff like that. So there are, some out there who do that, and you want something that's basically going to be affordable. But and like I said, the door swings both ways. You know what I mean? Yeah. It does. There's even people who aren't high-end collectors and can't really afford it that buy these J&D pieces still. You know what I mean? And that, you know what I mean? So again, I think it's just an acquired taste for individuals. You know what I mean? I would say at the end of the day, be smart. Again, I agree with you, bro. Like, when it comes to J&D and when it comes to Inart, like, there's a very, I agree, Carlos. The market for J&D is going to be very interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see, because at the end of the day, I don't know. Price. We had it is funny because we're having these conversations about Inarts when it comes to price. Not even thinking about J&D.
I know.
Like, fuck. You know what I mean? So here we go.
So Carlos, what do you want to say to round this out?
Yeah. So also, I think Doc Smissel said something pretty good, and it's interesting, right? Because if there's a $200-$300 figure, and then you spend $500, $550 from Inart, it's going to get better by 30%, 40%. But then when you jump from $500, $550 to $1,000 or $900, how much better is it going to get? 10% better, 15% better. Like, it starts only marginally getting better. You know, this reminds me of random story, but when I was recreating my website for my business, that roughly cost me like $10,000-$15,000, right? But when I was getting quotes, some people will come in at like 30 or 40 or even $50,000 to recreate it. And they would show me mock-ups of this. And it's like, yeah, it's a little bit better, but is it really significantly better at one point of diminishing returns, right? So yeah, I think Inart's going to be a good market for most. But hey, you're right, Leo. I know someone who makes barely, less than the average income and who has a lot of J&D statues. So you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
scary, bro.
It could be
Yeah.
a thing, man. But
Well,
guys, great discussion on that one. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. So I want to, thank the amazing panel that we have here and start with Mr. Rich. Rich, dude, thanks so much for joining, man. I know it's late as hell where you were at. What's coming up on Reviews of Rich, man?
So first of all, thank you so much for everybody today, for letting me on here. Will,
Yeah, dude, thanks for joining.
you're a legend. Thank you so much. And
Dude, hardly that.
Leal, you're the same. You both have really supported me when we started me up with my channel and stuff. So I really, really appreciate it.
Man.
I've got Film Club on Tuesday on my YouTube channel, where last week me, Leal, and some of the group from Collectors Lounge reviewed and talked about Batman 1989. And this week on Tuesday, we're going to do Top Gun Maverick. And so we're really looking forward to that. That's going to be a good laugh. I started rewatching it early today before I had to go to bed early to come up here to obviously wake up again to join this group. So doing that. And then I've got the Mime Joker that I'm going to be viewing again because I've owned it for a while, but I'm going to unbox it and review it and just do it's just some more figure unboxings that I've got. Going to go basically back into my collection and just start reviewing a lot of the stuff that I've got already. Start doing more collecting stories as well about when I've bought things for really cheap and how I've got them and the little stories behind that, because I think sometimes it's really fun to kind of talk about basically being smart with your money and really talking about what deals are out there as well. So I think that's something really important. Like I got this Noel Prime 1 Batman from Prime 1 for $350. So yes,
see, Carlos is probably not surprised.
it's like a $1,200 thing. So I was really happy that I got that, and I'll do a story behind that as well. So if you guys can follow me on Reviews with Rich on Instagram and YouTube, I'd very much appreciate it. I'm early days, but I'm getting there. But thank you again for having me today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. You're doing great, Rich. Love the content,
Excellent.
man. And we've been talking about getting you on here for a while, so I'm glad we're able to finally get it accomplished. And
I really appreciate it, Will. Thank you, man.
So thanks for staying awake for all the people. So
thank you.
But Carlos, dude, is there anything you want to plug, man? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here again.
Yeah, man,
it's always a pleasure, with Leo and yourself and meeting awesome people like Rich and Ben. That was great. Secondly, as always, buy Maji cases, buy with consent. No, but in all seriousness, I actually bought a couple figures today, so I'm pretty excited for them to come in, because I don't know if anyone in the chat remembers, and some people might, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I'll say it anyway. So I put an ISO for Star-Lord for Volume 2.
You're going to do that
for $200, and I got about 50 people who laughed at me, and they said, hey, this figure is minimum 300, 350. Someone, unfortunately, who had no idea what they were doing, said this is a $500, $600 figure. And I was like, look, if there's one thing I know, it's value, but I'll let it go. I ended up getting one today now it wasn't $200 and it wasn't $300 or $350. I got one for $250 shipped. It's in great condition. It's going to come in. Sure, it's $50 more than, my ISO post was. But point being is that, hey, I tell some of the people one of the 2 or 3 people who reach out to me, I make crazy, looking for posts on Facebook. I put them really low, and sometimes I get lucky. I got an IG-11 brand new for $170. If you don't ask, they'll never give it to you. The worst thing they can do is laugh at you, and you delete the post after. You know what I mean?
You delete the post.
That's all you can have to do. So I get a bunch of great deals by just doing ISOs, putting a ridiculous low budget, and hey, sometimes you get lucky. So that would be my tip for the day. Buy Maji cases, go with Tim Cent.
Well, I bought some Module cases too, man. So I'm
There
excited.
you go. We're sponsored.
I know, yeah,
We're really
pretty
not
much at this
sponsored.
point. So, but Lael, dude, thanks
Yo,
so much
yo.
for joining. Thanks so much for joining, Carlos. Seriously, man, as always. And Lael, dude, thanks
Yo.
so much for joining, dude, as always as well. And what's coming up on the
Yes,
channel?
bro. Yes, brother. Oh man. So I mean, again, thank you for having me here, bro. It's always a pleasure to be here on with you. Yeah, my man, Will Rastification.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. So glad to have you here, bro. Or have me here, bro.
Oh,
But yeah, so I too purchased a figure. Now here's the thing though. I purchased a figure that, pretty much, from a company that people hate to love or love to hate. And
Sideshow?
it was too much. No, bro, with them two, but it was too much of a deal for me not to actually get this piece. I pretty much got the figure for free. All I paid was shipping. Was $50 for shipping.
Nice.
Literally. That was I got the Winter Soldier. I got the Winter Soldier figure from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I got it from Toys Wonderland for $50. Like, it's mainly $50 because I had points to use. I had $130 in points, and the figure right now is going for $139. So I did that, and then I actually had points left over, like 800, and I think it was like $898, in points that actually paid the additional charge. So mainly all I'm paying right now is just the $50 shipping. I could not pass that up.
Any figure for like $50.
$50, bro. Like literally $50. That's what I paid for it. You know what I mean? So to say that's not a steal, you're crazy. Like literally, that is crazy.
Yeah, because you could turn around and sell that for at least $150.
Yeah, exactly. So mainly I got it. It was a steal. So I was like, you know what? Why not do that? I mean, passing it up, and plus, like I said, I mean, it was only $50 DHL. It's not. I didn't have to go with the snail mail. So once but here's the thing. Of course, we know that with Toys Wonderland, again, it was a pre-order. So basically like a second batch pre-order. So it'll be available. They said September to October. I can wait. Not a problem. I can wait for it. Once it releases, just ship me my shit. I don't want to have to be on your back, which I know I probably will have to. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But it was too much of a steal, so I got it. Anyway, what's going on tomorrow, of course, is Comic Book Talk with Friends, where we would discuss the second episode of She-Hulk, go more in detail. Like there was a lot of Easter eggs in this episode, even though it was only a 30-minute, it was 30 minutes with credits. Like literally, it was less.
It was real short.
Do better. They got to do better. Stop with this bullshit, man. Like literally, they need to be better. But anyway, it is what it is. But I definitely we're going to go over that. On Tuesday, on my channel, basically Ray Kinnick has finally received her Ahsoka figure. So we're going to do a live unboxing. We call it Etano Tuesday. So she's on the show Tuesday night. So me and her will actually be live while she unboxes her figure, talk about the figure, talk about what she's got going on in her world. So I'm definitely happy about that. And then of course, say what on Wednesday, where to be you yourself, Carlos too. I'm just saying that shit right now. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna break them dates. Yes, it's gonna be on there. But whoever else wants to be there, even if Krasinski wants to actually come on again.
Krasinski.
So definitely it'd be a live panel of individuals who know. And I do it on Wednesdays purposely because between now and Wednesday, we'll see what's going to be released or what's going to be revealed, so we can talk about it. So Wednesday's always a good day for me. So tune in for that. This week, I don't know. I think this week is going to be Uncivilized Scoundrels on my channel. So we'll definitely be talking about Star Wars on Thursday. Again, back for Megaflex Friday, and then on of course Collectors Lounge International on Sunday. So be there for that. Again, we are still running with the Halloween initiative. That's going to be going all the way up until October 1st. So all donations, all super chats will be donated to such a great cause. And we basically have a silent contributor right now who's going to be basically matching up to $500. So definitely that's what we're trying to push. So thank you for that. Again, this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing, and it's really important to me especially for kids, bro. Like especially within my area, any area where there's less fortunate children, man. They should always be the ones that we actually think about. They are definitely the future. They are future collectors. They're people that are going to be innovated as well. So again, man, thanks for having me here. Thanks for being on this panel with such a great all my brothers. I consider all y'all my brothers because you're in the collecting community. Everybody out there in the chat, love y'all. So thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining as always, dude. And that's a great, like a charitable act that you got going on the channel, dude. That's really cool. But Ben, to wrap things up, man, thanks so much for joining, Ben. First time, Mr. Ben Thomas Show / Mr. Krasinski / Mr. Fantastic / smartest man on the planet in the multiverse. Ben, what's going up on your channel, man?
I was gonna say, Lael's a hard one to come after, man. He's got so many good things going on, like charities and everything too. You love to see it. But thanks for having me, Will. Honestly, it's crazy being on with you guys. It's definitely a dream. It was 5 months ago, I was listening to a World according to Foxification on Lael's channel, and you were talking about if you've ever thought about YouTube streaming, you should just do it. Buy your shit, just get it done. Like you can do it, sort of thing. And then here we are, 5-6 months later, and I'm actually going to stream with you guys. So it's pretty cool. But for my own little channel, the Ben Thomas Show, I've been doing tons of different toy store, comic book stores here locally in Calgary. We've got like 14 amazing comic book stores that have some of the coolest toy selections just out there. So definitely tune in if you like toy tours. And then I've been kind of putting together a collection room tour. I don't have nearly the collection some of you guys have out there, but I think it might be fun for people who subscribe to me to see kind of what it looks like behind the scenes here in my space, and just have more of a personal touch on that video there. So that should be coming here pretty soon. Then on Tuesday nights, I'm usually a guest host on Collecting Weekly with the boys over there. Awesome guys. So if for whatever reason you're not in on Collecting Weekly, go check them out. And then occasionally I get to stream with my buddy Marco over at 16fix on Bargain Bin Bros. We've been trying to get together a little bit more often on Friday afternoons, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, there he is. So
there he is.
Definitely check out Marco at 16fix. He's an awesome guy as well. So but yeah, I just appreciate being here. If there's ever an opportunity to come back, I will 100% put my hand up for that. So let me know.
Lael, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick. So I'm actually going to be doing a video on one thing real quick. So I'm going to be creating a diorama. So I'm going to show you how when you have a broken item, not to throw it away, but you can create a diorama piece with it. So with this,
hold on.
That sideshow snow speeder that I got, that snow speeder that I got, that broke. It broke live when we were actually doing a pose off for Collecting Weekly. So with this piece, it's completely destroyed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can take this broken piece and create a diorama. I'm going to actually saw it in half, and I'm going to use this basically, like literally, I'm going to actually just use a torch it in half, and I'm going to use it as a diorama piece for both the twins, for Luke and Leia, for Endor. I mean, so basically like it's going to be, a nice little diorama piece. Create that with Wicked and everything. It's going to be incredible. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna show you how I actually just step by step take this, create a diorama based mode, and use this as a centerpiece, and then pose it with those figures. So stay tuned.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, dude. Yeah, that sounds super cool. But guys, thanks to everyone on. Sorry, Ben, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say you're gonna do a video of you blowtorching that thing in half, though, right? Because that's part of the fun.
I know that's gonna be amazing. Get all the views on that one.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna show you how I torch it in half. It's gonna blowtorch in half, step by step, and then how I create the mode. And again, this is promoting Michaels. When you basically need molds, you can actually get like the mosh, everything. As I've actually used for Grogu, I've used it for my Doorstill Mando, everything like that. Michaels for our accessory, endorsed by both me and WillFoxification.
That's true, bro. Well, see, we all got these endorsements tonight. Carla's got Tim Sen and Maji Case. We got Michaels over here. Come on now, we're promoting everybody tonight. So, but guys, thanks so much to everyone on the panel for joining. It was a great chat. This show is always a lot of fun every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back next Sunday for that. I have Lights Camera Collect Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I think that's going to be with Kiko, last I checked. So that'll be really fun. Mr. Kiko will be back on the channel. And of course, I'll be on Lael's show Wednesday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. And
Yes, sir.
then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on Anthony's next Saturday. So I'm going to be on Anthony's on Saturday at, I think, 9 Eastern. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Thanks so much for all the kind words in the chat tonight about the stream and everything like that. We discussed a lot of cool stuff, and there'll be a lot of probably something dropped tonight. Hopefully, maybe there'll be a release. Who knows? But that seems to happen every time we stream. And right when I end, it's like, oh, there's the news. Could have just waited like another hour. But either way, guys, thanks so much. Be on the lookout for all these guys' channels. They're great. So thanks to all of them. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Bye. See ya.